sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am Hardik Seth. I am talking with Vimal Rawat. He is a doctor fellow at Max Planck Institute, Germany. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, thank you for giving your precious time for interview. As we are gathered here to make some focus on the role of bioinformatics towards life sciences. As you are from bioinformatics in a field for a couple of years, so it's a very silly question for you to start with the introduction. So can you give me the definition, or as per your ideology, how you define bioinformatics?
I mean, for me, bioinformatics is just a way of finding biological answer to biological question in a computation related way. So basically, you use computer as a tool to do your research in biology. That's bioinformatics to me.
Okay, and yes, sir, can you give some more focus on the current trends in bioinformatics, please?
I mean, it's you can see it everywhere that nowadays, at least in the life sciences, I see there's a huge trend to trends to get a bioinformatics angle to your research. I mean, because nowadays people are generating a lot more amount of the data which they can handle, and the research is now going from one gene to genome wide analysis, and those kind of analysis basically use power of computers. So I see almost every field of biological sciences you see bioinformatics. So it's actually not different field, it's the same life sciences, but you actually take help of computers to solve your problems. So
How
it's
the,
everywhere. I would say that for last 10 years it's growing, and it's really at a very high level now.
and how the bioinformatics will be helpful in life science? As you sir mentioned, in life science, bioinformatics is everywhere. So can you give some more lights on the usage of bioinformatics in life sciences?
I mean, bioinformatics is helping almost all aspects of life sciences research. So basically, my area of expertise is genomics. So we actually try to answer questions related to genomes of multiple organisms, and of course, for that you need to not only look at the single gene, but you actually talk about complete genome or all set of genes in different organisms. So you do those kind of a comparative analysis, and I think the genomics, this term is actually came after bioinformatics.
Hmm. Okay.
So I think in genomics it's really, I mean, the role of bioinformatics is it's much prominent, and not only in genomics, but if you talk about the structured biology or any other like microbe interaction, microbiology, there as well, you see a lot more bioinformaticians coming in, and because nowadays the problems are not about a single organism or a single gene, so it's everywhere, I would say.
So as you are working on genome analysis, so how this genome annotation will lead to life science people, as particularly microbiologists, or you can say biotechnology?
See, I mean, if you talk about genomics, so for example, if you're a microbiologist, you're working for a specific bacteria. I mean, you want to study, you want to understand the behavior and different interaction of that bacteria, and the first thing is to know what kind of genes, what kind of a expression, or what kind of a behavior that bacteria shows. And the first step is to sequence the genome and to understand the annotation. What are the different genes it has, and what kind of a specific pathways, specific interaction that bacteria has. So the first step is to genomics. So you actually sequence the genome, you do annotate it, and you understand. Then you compare with other organisms which people know about, and so I would say that it's on every step you see the I mean involvement of bioinformatics approaches, be it a microbiology or any other field.
Okay, sir. As we define bioinformatics implies in two disciplines, biology and computational usage.
Mm-hmm.
So, as per a life science point of view, if one has to access some online information, then
Mm-hmm.
how this information will be contributed by bioinformatics?
Can you please repeat the question? I could not understand exactly what you.
As we
So
know
it's
that bioinformatics is a combination of computer and
yes.
biology. So
Yeah.
how biology people will able to utilize computational tools towards life sciences?
Okay, so first thing I want to make it clear that I don't see bioinformatics as a different thing. I mean, it's biology itself, but just by for answering biological question, you're using computers. So I would say that it's just the same thing. But what biologist or the pure biologist cannot handle that the huge amount of data. So a different part of the biologist, which is the computer biologist, they take over, and then they I mean they use computational power to answer those questions, which can be answered by analyzing a huge amount of data. So I would say that the bioinformaticians are nothing different than the biologists. So they are a group of biologists which can also use computers, I would say. So it's just the same group and same kind of information we generate.
As we know that there are a large number of databases available online. Okay,
Yes.
so how these databases will be helpful to life science people in terms of
Yeah, I
annotation?
mean, see, this is very important. I mean, because nowadays, like in different part of the world, you do research, and most of the times you research about the same thing. So before actually starting your research, it's very important to look whether somebody has already done that or not, or somebody has done something similar to that or not. And then there's biological databases come into picture. So this is a very I would say the very interesting and very helpful idea that whatever you do, you submit to a database which is like common to all, and people in other part of the world also, I mean, can use that information, and they're as well a part of the biologists. I would say that the database designers came into pictures, and designing a database and putting information into it. It's a very very interesting and very good idea, so that people share information, and by that information you actually help your research as well. And designing a database is a part of bioinformatics analysis as well, which is also helping a scientific community a lot.
So as we know that there are a number of databases available, so can you give me some of the examples, so example databases that are more frequently utilized by life science people?
So, I mean, I would say that the largest database which I came across or people generally use is the NCBI repository. Basically, it's not a single database, but it's a group of databases. So basically, if you are doing research over the nucleotide sequences, you can also fetch all nucleotide sequences which are till date known. So that database actually contain all the known nucleotide sequences, known protein sequences like Swiss-prot, Tremble, and there are other databases as well which are not interactive. For example, a database for mRNAs, tRNAs, and databases for like different tools. For example, microarray databases. And nowadays, people are also using next generation sequencing. So there are databases like SRA, which are a common repository for those kind of a databases or those kind of a information.
Sir, as you think that bioinformatics is not separate from life sciences, so what
Yeah.
do you think that what will be the role of bioinformatics in life science right now?
So I mean, bioinformaticians basically deals with a huge amount of data, and the role is very it's already very important these days, and in future as well. I think the people the pace with which people are generating data is it's really high, and now you see a gap between analysis of data and generation of data. Nowadays, people have reached a very high level of the quality and the speed of data generation, but I don't see people are, I mean, analyzing that data with that particular speed or that the matching speed. So I would say that in future it's a very I mean, there are a lot of opportunities for bioinformaticians, because you need people to analyze their data. I mean, generating data is important, but more important thing is to analyze that data, and the speed the data is getting generated is very high. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of opportunities for bioinformaticians, I would say.
As we know that one cannot become bioinformatician without computational awareness. Okay,
Yes.
so my next question is what computational knowledge do biological people should possess to accept the bioinformatics techniques?
Okay, I would say that you can actually divide bioinformatics in two groups. One are which are more close to biological problems. So basically, they are those people who can actually understand biology in more detail, and they don't develop, but they use bioinformatics tool to analyze that data. And the second group is the tool maker group of bioinformaticians. So they are more close to computers and the computational analysis. So they generate some tools, some pipelines. They are more into programming and developing tools. So these are the two groups. So first you need to decide which group you want to be in. So if you really want to be a tool designer, then you need to know at least some programming languages like Java, C++, and scripting languages like Perl, Python. So you should be a kind of expert in at least one of them. But if you're more towards analysis part of it, then I think knowing a scripting language like Perl is good enough for you.
Sir, if we think regarding particularly, for example, microbiologist or
Mhm.
biotechnologist, which
Yep.
part they are generally utilizing as per you divided into two?
Your voice is breaking actually. I mean,
Sorry
I
for
could not get.
inconsistency.
Mhm.
I supposed to close my video. Just a minute. Okay, I repeat the question again. As per your kind concern, what you think? What will be the role of biotechnologist or microbiologist if you divide these people into the bioinformatics category?
I'm sorry, I could not listen it. I mean, it's your voice is breaking and could not
Sir,
understand the question.
yeah, again I'm repeating the question. Sir, what you think that what will be the role of microbiologist and biotechnologist in bioinformatics? Specifically, if you think regarding that discipline.
Yeah, so basically, as I said that there are clearly two groups of bioinformaticians, and if you are coming with the background of microbiology or maybe biochemistry or the biotechnology, I would say that it's very easy to you, and it will be very good to you to be in an analysis part of bioinformaticians, because you already have enough information about life sciences. But it doesn't I don't mean to say that you cannot be a tool maker group of bioinformatician. Just you need a little more hard work
Okay.
to be in the second part of the bioinformatics.
Okay. Sir, as we know that there are plenty of applications of bioinformatics in life sciences. As per my point of view, there is a booming area, we can call it as a drug designing. Nowadays, it's very essential, or it will be the curing aspects to the mankind. If you find
Mhm.
innovative drug, it will be very helpful to the mankind. So,
Yes.
how bioinformatics will help in drug designing?
See, I think it's pretty long time. I mean, then bioinformatics is already there, but we call it chemoinformatics. Basically, it's a part of bioinformatics which is more focused toward drug designing or drug designing pipeline basically. So, I mean, the role of bioinformatics is very prominent in drug discovery pipeline, because right from target identification to the pharmacophore designing, I mean that part is completely bioinformatics dominated part, because you basically have a protein and you just want to find the inhibitor or maybe just activator of that protein, and you cannot do it manually by checking with each chemical compound. So basically people test for like millions of chemical compounds, so you cannot do it manually. So there actually is a clear need of bioinformaticians, and people are using bioinformatics tool for a long, I mean, for long. So I would say that in drug discovery pipeline, it's very, very well accepted role of bioinformaticians in each steps before clinical trials. The bioinformatics is all there, and even after the clinical trials to analyze those clinical trials data, I mean, you still need some statistics and bioinformatics there.
So can you give some example tools that are nowadays utilized as an academic level as well as a professional level in drug designing?
See, in industry, I would say that it's more because these pharma industries are basically doing this for a long period of time. So, for the first step of any drug discovery pipeline is to identification. I mean, the target identification. So basically, they identify a pathway. If you block that pathway, the disease can be cured or something like that. So first to identify the target is a very crucial step. So first I mean, if you have identified a protein or a pathway step, then actually you look for some kind of a chemical which can inhibit that pathway, so that the complete pathway is inhibited and actually you get rid of some kind of a disease or disorder. And after identifying the target, you actually test it for like millions of compounds, because your aim is not only to block the pathway, but your aim is also not to affect other pathways.
Okay.
So for that, you test like millions of compounds, and then you come up with a list of inhibitor or maybe sometimes activator. Then you have a candidate list, and that can be, I mean, the candidate list you just you identify by in silico protein and ligand docking studies. And when you are done with your candidate list, then actually you try to test those candidates in more precise manner. And once you also test those candidates with the admit properties and other criteria of a drug, then you actually go with the clinical trials.
Okay. And
Mhm.
can you give some example of softwares that are utilized as a freeware in drug designing towards bioinformatics?
Couldn't get your question, sorry.
Can you give the example of some softwares that are utilized nowadays in drug
Okay.
designing?
So yeah. So the software, as I said, the first step is the docking, the protein ligand docking. So there actually you basically need software like Autodocs, Gold, and there are other softwares which provides you the docking capabilities. I think there is a very good tool is known as Autodoc, which is also I think publicly available. So it's an open source, and yeah, I mean that software is generally used for docking studies. You identify whether your target is blocked or bound by the chemicals of your library or not.
So do you think that after having a role of bioinformatics in drug designing, the drug discovery period will be reduced?
Sorry, couldn't get it.
So do you think that after having a role of bioinformatics in pharma industry in terms of drug designing, the
Mhm.
researching of innovative drug period will be reduced?
Yes, I do believe in it, and yes. I mean, this is very important to utilize these bioinformatics approaches in drug designing.
And the data generated in drug designing through software, how you
Mhm.
can authorize this data?
I mean, before the clinical trials, I think it's always a prediction. It's always a prediction. I mean, you predict some kind of a interactions of ligands and proteins. You generate those kind of analyses, and there are statistical methods to actually validate your hypothesis. And once you are very much sure about your analysis, bioinformatics analysis about drugs, then I think the next step is to test in lab in some, or I think the animal trials are first conducted and the human trials later. So I think it's a long pipeline for a drug discovery, and bioinformatics I mean actually reduce the candidates. I mean it cannot always say you that okay, this is the drug, but actually it helps you minimizing like millions of chemicals to some few candidates which you can easily test in the lab.
Thank you, sir. So next question is, do you think that our life science community must have to attend a practical or hands-on training in bioinformatics?
Yes, yes, and I think it started for long. So I know about many masters in biotechnology in India. I mean, the course also offer a small 6 months course in bioinformatics as well. I mean, it should be increased because I see a increasing need of bioinformatics analysis in all kind of a research. But yeah, I think it's already started. Nowadays, biotechnologists also attend some classes of bioinformatics because people are understanding the role of bioinformatics and importance of it.
So do you think that at a higher level position in life science, those who are in academic or industry,
Mhm.
they are
Yeah.
flexible to adapt this technology?
Uh, I mean, it's difficult, but yes, they are flexible, and but it would be very nice if you get such trainings during your masters. I mean, after reaching to a very high level in academics or industry, it is little difficult for some people, but for some people it doesn't matter. But it's always good to start learning about bioinformatics during your master days.
As this bioinformatics training will be applied in terms of workshop or seminars, if I'm
Yeah,
not wrong. So, sir,
yeah.
according to you, how this bioinformatics workshop will be beneficial to life science people?
I mean, it's very beneficial because I see every year. I mean, like hundreds of such seminars or some workshops are conducted for awareness of bioinformatics tools and bioinformatics analysis. I mean, I also attended last year in AMBO. It was about the comparative genomics analysis, and it was. I mean, it was a great success. I mean, people from all fields of life sciences, microbiologists, and some are like chemists or some are biochemists. They came to attend that workshop in Embo. It was in Italy, and I really found that very interesting and very helpful for other people as well. I mean, such initiative should be taken much more. I mean, I would say that now it's okay. I mean, there are many workshops conducted every year, but it should be increased.
Okay, sir. Uh, my next question is, what is the status of bioinformatics in India at academic level and industry level if you compare to rest of the
Bioinformatics. I mean, it's increasing. People are doing very nice research, bioinformatics research in academics. But if you compare with other countries, I mean, it still needs improvement. I mean, I remember 2000 around 2003 or 2004 when actually I started learning about bioinformatics, and that time it was almost nowhere in India. I mean, there were some institutes, but those institutes were providing a very basic information about bioinformatics. But nowadays I see many nice institutes providing very high level of bioinformatics research, I mean, education there in India. But still, compared to other part of the world, for example, Germany, I would say that it needs more improvement nowadays as well. And in industry, if you say, I mean, in industry, I would say it's even less as compared to other countries like Germany. It needs improvement there.
Sir, can you give some example of companies that will utilize bioinformatics people for their expertise?
See, I know about like many companies. I mean, where I work. I mean, actually, the bioinformatics is you have a flexibility with bioinformatics that you can also work in IT industry. I mean, myself, I've worked for like around 4 years in IT industry in life science domain basically. So nowadays as well, there are many companies. I mean, TCS has its own complete setup in Hyderabad for bioinformatics. Infosys also started some recruitment of bioinformatics. DuPont is one company in Hyderabad as well. Biobase is there, which is a very big database company. There are other companies as well. For example, some breeding companies, plant breeding companies, are also in India. They are also opening their research like centers in India.
Sir, what do you think that the bioinformatics subject in academic will be applied at which level? At graduation level or a post-graduation
I
level?
think it should be included at school level. I mean, at graduation, I see very less institute offering bachelor in bioinformatics in India, and in masters as well. If you really count nice and good institute in India, you can count on fingers. I mean, there are not many, but I think there is a need, and you should start including things at school level as well. I mean, I'm not saying that it should be one full chapter, but at least introduction. What are emerging fields of life sciences, and bioinformatics is one of them. And then including some courses at graduation level would be very nice. And at master level, then actually it's important to give some focused knowledge of bioinformatics to people. And yeah, at PhD level, I would say that there are already people who are doing PhD in bioinformatics in India. That's not a problem, but important is that you should train those people at very low level, so that when they reach to PhD level, they know what this field is.
Okay. Uh, well, as we discussed, there are various applications of bioinformatics in
Yeah,
each and every area of sciences, whether it is a computer science or sciences. So,
yeah.
sir, what do you think? What will be the role of bioinformatics after 50 years?
It's too long time. 50 years is too much, but I'm pretty sure within 10 years you will see almost every single lab in life sciences is utilizing bioinformatics tools and bioinformatics analysis within 10 years. I mean, 50 years is too long time.
Okay. And the last question is, as we know that whatever field we are going to, we must be asking the first question, the future.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
my next question is, what is the future of bioinformatics if you compare India to rest of the world?
I mean, there is a lot more scope for improvement, and I see people are, I mean, very close to just match up all foreign countries as well in bioinformatics knowledge. And I don't see it's long time that when, I mean, bioinformatics studies and bioinformatics research of India is equal to any other part of world, because nowadays as well you see so many good bioinformatics papers coming out from India. I mean, there are some genome papers. I mean, initially, if you talk about before 5 years, I mean, just you talk about 2005 or even before, there was not a single big bioinformatics paper coming out of India. But nowadays you see every year two or three big bioinformatics paper are coming out of India. It means it's increasing, and I'm pretty sure within like 5-10 years, India is just as good as any other country in bioinformatics knowledge.
So do you think that biopharmaceutical industry in India must have to mingle with a bioinformatician? Because I didn't
Yes,
see that too often in India compared to the other part of world.
that's actually true. In pharmaceutical industries, or specifically chemoinformatics part of bioinformatics, that's lagging behind. And at least in India, I mean, actually the funds which it's my personal opinion that the funds these pharmaceutical companies invest on chemoinformatics research is very less as compared to the funds which other companies of like Germany or any other part of the world they invest in their clinical these pharmaceutical research. So that needs a lot more improvement. But yeah, as I said, bioinformatics is not just chemoinformatics, but it's much bigger field, and not all the fields are lagging that much. Some areas are really equal to other part of the world, but some areas needs improvement.
Sir, you are from India and you just doing your postdoctoral fellow in Max Planck Institute right now. So what message
Uh,
that you just raise to the students who are in graduation or post graduation in India?
so first to correct that, I'm not a postdoctoral fellow here in Max Planck. I am a doctoral fellow, and I would say that I mean it's really not because the India does not have bioinformatics PhDs or something like that, but it's totally a different thing that you should come out and you should also see what other people are doing in different part of the world, and you should understand their style of working, learn good things, and when you go back, just implement all good things you learned in different parts of the world. And that is my motto, and that's my aim, and I also suggest other people to do that.
Okay, sir. Sir, you explain what is bioinformatics, role of bioinformatics in life sciences as per your point of view. You can't
Yeah.
imagine life science without bioinformatics.
Yes.
It's a very important in drug designing of chemoinformatics and
Mm.
preclinical studies. And bioinformatics future is very high as per your words. And people should go in bioinformatics as per your concern.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving your precious time for me. It's been an honor to have interaction with you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.